Top Republicans going after the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi for assigning Congresswoman Ilhan Omar to the Foreign Affairs Committee, claiming she has a history of anti-Semitic remarks. 2012, she wrote on Twitter, quote, "Israel has hypnotized the world. May Allah awaken the people and help them see the evil doings of Israel. Hashtag Gaza, hashtag Palestine, hashtag Israel." Ari Fleischer, former White House press secretary, Fox News contributor. And Ari, thank you for your time today. I want to get your views on this. I just want to point out that she's a freshman Democratic member of Congress from Minnesota, Palestinian heritage and background. And what do you think about how, I guess the tweet came out first, and she was on CNN yesterday and addressed it the following way? Here's a little clip of that.
That's really a regrettable way of expressing that. I don't know how my comments would be offensive to Jewish Americans. My comments precisely are addressing what was happening during the Gaza war.
Does that clear things up, Ari? Where are you on this?
It makes it even worse. The fact that she can't understand how that's offensive, it's one of the oldest anti-Semitic tropes to say that Jews control the world. And when she says Israel's hypnotized the world, it's a repeat of that message. If that was the only instance, maybe you could understand it. But she also is for a boycott of Israel. This new congresswoman who's on the Foreign Affairs Committee has not called for a boycott of Russia or Venezuela or Iran. She has singled out Israel for it. You know, I just think it's a sign of the creeping problem the Democratic Party has in its grassroots that is increasingly anti-Semitic and anti-Israel.
How do you think that Speaker Pelosi should step in, and what would you want to hear from her?
She should say it was a mistake to put Congresswoman Omar on the Foreign Affairs Committee. Anybody who holds those views as an extremist does not represent the Democratic Party. Look, the Democrat leadership historically has been very pro-Israel, but it's cracking. It's cracking because the Democrat grassroots are increasingly anti-Israel, and as we've seen with the Women's March, increasingly anti-Semitic. And Pelosi is trying to split that difference. You don't split it. You stand on principle, and you stand with Israel and with the American Jewish community. That's the problem that Nancy Pelosi has. She's cast her lot with the wrong group.
Well, she has a challenge of managing many new diverse members. How does she do it?
Well, I think what she's trying to do is spread the jobs around. That's typically how the Democrats deal with these issues. That's how she won her speakership, by creating new committees, putting people into different positions. But when you put somebody with a record as strongly as Congresswoman Omar of anti-Semitism and anti-Israel on a powerful committee that historically has been a pro-Israel committee, you're sending a signal that the Democrats have changed at the highest levels. And the problem here is the Democrat grassroots now for 20 years have been on the ascendancy, pushing for increased neutrality between Israel and the Palestinians, Israel and Hamas, Israel and Hezbollah, terrorist groups. Now, Congresswoman Omar has another problem, and that is the anti-homophobic statements that she's trying to make about a Republican senator, alleging that he's compromised. I mean, these are the remarks of the prejudiced, of the narrow-minded. That's how people like that speak, and the Democrats put somebody like that on the Foreign Affairs Committee to represent themselves. She should reverse herself. Nancy Pelosi should ask Congresswoman Omar to step down. If she doesn't step down, the Democrat leadership should remove her.
House Minority Leader Steve Scalise echoes those comments, calling for Democrats to justify their decision in putting her in this position, saying that House Dems need to address why they're endorsing these views by rewarding Rep. Omar with this important committee seat. I guess we're left wondering where this all goes as we continue to hear criticism from the GOP on this.
You know, I think the problem the Democrats have is they are so caught up now in what do you look like? What is your heritage? What is your background? Because she's Palestinian, they think, isn't this great? We're diversifying. Aren't we wonderful? As opposed to ideology. Nothing counts more than ideas and substance. It doesn't matter who you are or what chromosomes you have. That's what the power is. And when you are so anti-Israel and so anti-Semitic, it's a huge problem for the Democrats. And, you know, let me just close with this. Martin Luther King in 1968 said, quote, "When people criticize Zionists, they mean Jews. You're talking anti-Semitism." You can't separate anti-Zionist, anti-Israel from anti-Semitic today.
Omar went on Twitter and said, "Y'all know my tweet had nothing to do with his sexuality, everything to do with his blind cooperation with Trump." That was in reference to Lindsey Graham. Just listening to you talk, Ari, it sounds as if you believe the assignment was intentional on behalf of Speaker Pelosi. Is that what you think?
I do, because I think the Democrats value so much diversity, that we have diversity of people. Let's put them on these powerful committees. Diversity of thought in this instance, that she is anti-Israel, so let the anti-Israel growing grassroots sentiment see that we are rewarding them.
Well,
they shouldn't be rewarded.
100 new members in Congress. You're going to get a variation of ideas and opinions, and we're going to see how this goes as we move forward. But Ari, thank you for your time today. We got to run. Thanks.
Ari Fleischer, thank you.